Very beginning of the season, that the newbies say that they want to have an alliance. Like you, Shamia, and her were going to be an alliance together.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Beginning, there was an alliance, and the alliance was me, Kelly, Britt, and Porsha. And that was only because... I mean, there's a lot of things that we can talk about with Porsha's life. I mean, she should be worried about who flipping and flopping in that basement with Ralph. Simon says, you had no storyline.
And the gang is...
She told me she didn't know. Girl, go sit on Porsha's lap, girl. Just go in there.
You know what? This is...
Introduce you to Simon. No, I didn't say that. Hold on. I've never said I introduced Porsha to Simon.
Oh my God. Is this who we are? Is this what we represent?
Did Shamia introduce you to Simon?
Oh.
And Porsha, now that you've seen the season, do you think you owe Drew an apology?
This one.
Oh, what you gonna do?
All right. Oh my God. Let Jesus about. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord. Stop.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Your house, you have to sell yours. Listen, I moved right out my house, honey. I didn't want another man in my house. Well, you should have had a better prenup. I'm happy. Good. I'm glad you look it. Good. Thank you.
Yo, it's Brian Keefe, and I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 Reunion Part 1. Just to start off, we already know that Kenya's not going to be there, and Britt isn't going to be at the reunion. I personally think it's unfortunate that both ladies aren't going to be at the reunion, because now when things get brought up that are pivotal for the season, it gets glossed over with one perspective. And anybody else that brings in another perspective, how do we know the validity of what they're saying, right? But to each his own, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flame. And if you wanna play with me, you can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, won it, securing the bag.
My whole thing with Drew is I feel like a lot of people just doesn't like Drew because Drew does come off as performative. But I just think now that we have seen Drew and everything she's going through, I think just her. But yeah, we see the girls get ready for the reunion. Like, you know, they come in and, you know, that's when they start discovering, like, okay, where's Britt? Where's this person? Oh, Drew is late.
May have noticed, Britt Edie has decided not to join us today.
What? Wow. I'm shocked.
What's going on? I don't think Drew should be in last chair. I think she just got last chair because Drew was late. So just like, girl, sit your ass over here. But all in all, I just think that's just how the cookie crumbled, right? I don't think Cynthia was going to be out on the stage that early, but I think they did it because it's just like, girl, we need 7. Let's make it make sense, right? So we start the reunion, right? And all the ladies look, you know, gold. I think the dresses look much better sitting down than standing up in photos. I think Phaedra looks much better sitting down, but for me, the headpiece, there was no point to have it, right? But they all introduced themselves. Andy, you know, definitely talked about the elephant in the room, being that Britt isn't here. A lot of the ladies are, you know, upset because they had a lot of things they want to get off their chest with Britt.
She plays victim and villain at the same damn time. At the end of the day, it's a sisterhood, whether we like it or not. We're in this sorority together.
So now we already know what's going to happen. Britt's going to go online. She's going to give her opinion online and then just like say what she got to say. But at this point, you should have went to that reunion. So, you know, Shamia felt like, you know, this is unfortunate. I really wanted to talk to her, just like set some things straight. Shamia, what we could talk about is the fact that you said that she talked about your daughter when she didn't talk about your daughter. She was basically talking about your parent. But Kelly, yeah, girl. There was a lot of moments in this that I really love. Andy asked, like, let's set an intention. Porsha was,
I want to set an intention for growth, peace, understanding, and for us to be able to move forward in a productive way that we can understand and hear each other, you know.
And my whole thing with Porsha, I'm just like, girl, you have been the puppet master. You have been that shadow hand in you know, pulling the strings, girl. You are not peaches and cream today. No, ma'am. Andy gets right into it, and we see Porsha's package. One, Porsha didn't film at her house this whole time, and you know, they talk about Londi, and Porsha gets a little emotional, and you know, she's trying to collect herself because Londi means so much to her because she unfortunately passed away. Rest in peace. But then it gets to the whole divorce that she's going through with Simon, and she's just like, yeah, you know, it was a rough time, you know, I'm going through a lot, you know, I understand what the girls are going through, this, that, and the third.
It's kind of like the phantom divorce, like with her. She went, it didn't end. Same thing with me. I went and it was supposed to end and didn't end. Circumstances down.
So they bring up, you know, Kelly, like you said that, oh, she took that woman's husband. And then Porsha was like, girl, did you find your answer? And then Kelly was like, well, not really, because, you know, I just don't think it's like, you know, you said you loved him. I just don't think that's real. And I'm just like, clock it.
Not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
Asking out of concern. I mean, how? Did you ever get your answer? Well, the answer was you really loved him. Does it seem real? No.
Because yeah, Porsha, you came on this season trying to give a lifestyle that's not your lifestyle. Same with Britt. You came on this season to give a lifestyle that's not your lifestyle. Drew clocked it as well. It's like, girl, fraud. You're a fraud. You're trying to live this life that to be honest, it's not yours. However, you got the house. I'm not mad at that. So Drew and, you know, Porsha, they had their little rounds, and Kelly and Porsha had their little rounds too. Which
Porsha, hold on. I was married for 11 years. You were married for 11 months. Like, let's not compare apples to peaches. Okay, Kelly, I think I've made my point.
Andy asked Porsha, like, so I heard that Simon was detained by ICE. She's like, yeah, you know, I heard that. He was like, well, Phaedra, does that mean that he's like in a jail cell? She's like, basically.
I had read that he's detained by ICE. Did you read that?
Well, that is true.
Twitter are chirping about.
What?
They think you called ICE on Simon.
You know one thing Andy brought up, and Phaedra brought up too, she was like, well, I was only here for 10 days. I was only here for 10 days. Well, if you were only here for 10 days, then why the fuck you sitting on this couch? Okay, let's stop bringing that up. You're on this couch, I mean, you're in some type of drama. Yeah, that's irrelevant. Thank you. Shamia brings up the fact that the rumors were going around about Simon before they got together. She's like, did you find out if he was a scammer? You find out this and find out that.
But I know early on when we talked about you getting married and your prenup, I asked you, did you find out everything? Like, is he a scammer? All the rumors, did you dispel them?
I want to skip forward to when they talk about how Porsha and Simon got together. So a lot of people are saying that Shamia introduced Porsha to Simon. Shamia was like, that's not the case, that's not the case, that's not the case, da da da. And then Andy was like, Porsha? And Porsha was like, no. He's like, why you pause? She paused because they're fucking lying. Shamia, I'm not saying, like, mind you, I don't know. I just can go off what I've seen on social media. I remember Kempire, and he just reposted his video on Instagram, on Twitter, and there was a post when you over here, and it's basically saying like, oh, my friend's the best matchmaker. Girls implying that you set them up. So for you to be like, oh girl, did you find out he was a scammer? Did you find out this? Did you find out that? Girl, you should have known. You was over here. You set them up.
I introduced you to Simon?
Listen.
Well, but why did you did she introduce you?
It's given, Porsha. Taken. It's given, taken. It's given, look away. Taken for real. Give me some sugar.
All right, y'all. One thing I left out when I was doing my post editing is the fact that they brought up alliances, right? And Porsha was like,
In this thing, alliances, it was brought up. The newbies came in with an alliance, and alliances kill shows. They kill shows like that. You know, it did it to that show. Alliances are so bad like that. That's just something that, you know, I heard it was Britt, Kelly, you know, the new girls. Yeah, they came with an alliance.
Mia was like, yeah, you know, there was an alliance. And Porsha's like, I said it. She said it was me, Kelly, Britt, and Porsha. Porsha was like, me? Who said that?
Me, Kelly, Britt, and Porsha. And that was only because I was not aware of that. I'm sorry, can I finish?
Ain't that what you said? Porsha, bitch, I believe everything that Shamia just said. Because Porsha, girl, how you gonna be like, alliances kill the shows, but you're in one? Okay. But I don't know. I just feel like Shamia and Porsha, they got caught in some lies, and now that they beefing, the lies are slowly leaking out. So, you know, they get on the whole Drew situation and Drew package with Ralph. You know, Ralph has took her through the fucking mud.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can talk about with Porsha's life, but yet she came on here to attack me the entire season.
And I feel some type of way because Porsha and Drew, you know, they go back and forth. First of all, Drew has been waxing Porsha's ass this whole time. Just so Porsha, after her and Drew swapped it out just a couple times, they talk about the whole situation with Dennis.
Knew that you filmed with Dennis and that she felt a certain way about it.
And I weren't ever getting together to diminish you, disrespect you, so that was not true.
Basically, Drew working with Dennis. And Cynthia, I have to come to you because you're just like, well, you should know with this situation, like, why would you want to put yourself in the middle? My whole thing is, yes, there's so many people that Drew could have worked with. When we see the end result of her product, for me, regardless of how everything swapped out, girl, it was the right decision. Her album is amazing.
But most importantly, Porsha and Dennis aren't in a fucking relationship. So, regardless of the fact, that man can do whatever the fuck he want to.
Amazing, right? And I do feel like I don't know if she shares any of the profits with Bravo for her album, because they did not put her album cover on the show. But I know I heard them play her song during the show one time. So I don't know. I know that with Bravo, if you put your business up there, they take like 10%, whatever. Girl, be sick as fuck. Porsha feels like Drew was doing it on purpose. Drew's like, you knew that we were working together. And Porsha's like, I did not know. All I knew is that you were trying to fuck him for beats.
It was the same text I showed to Ralph. Let's see, because Ralph told me what the text said. And it didn't say, y'all got two different stories. I don't have the text.
Well, what did it say?
How
Tell
convenient.
us.
And they're like, girl, what? She was like, there was a text. And then Drew was like, oh, the same text you showed Ralph? Because Ralph showed me the text. And she was like, yeah, it implied. That's where you lost me. It implied. What the fuck did it say? I don't care about the implication. I want to know, what did the text say? She said, well, I don't have the text. And like they're saying, that's too convenient. You can't sit up here and try to gag me and tell me about my motherfucking business and what I'm doing with my coochie. You can't tell me about what the fuck I'm doing with my shit and then talk about you don't got the proof. If you ain't got the proof, keep that shit on the playground.
Your music. Porsha knew Dennis and I were working together. She was supportive of that.
Drew, that's
you
what you're
did,
not
because
hearing.
we talked after my birthday party.
So that's why I look at Porsha like, girl, you've been at this shit for too long to be over here just like clueless. The funny part was Porsha gets up. I said, Drew, girl, was she about to know? No, but Porsha gets up and like she hugs. She said, I want to hug you. And Drew was like, okay. Like, okay. She hugs her. And it's just like one of those things where it's just like, I feel like Porsha was Drew was tearing that ass up, and her comebacks was just boom, 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 just eating her. So I think Porsha hugged Drew to like make amends, to get the heat off of her. You got Shamia on that ass, you got Angela on that ass, you got Kelly on that ass, and now you got Drew on that ass. So Porsha knew strategically, let me get up and hug her, let me, you know.
I did not mean to sit down with your husband. I'm going through a divorce myself, and every time I saw you, you triggered me. I had to make sure that you understood the pain I was going through. So was I being petty meeting with him? Absolutely. Yeah, I did. But it was not right. It was not right.
Ralph.
Did you do it to be petty?
Of course.
Yeah.
But watching the season back, even though at the time I felt justified,
You still didn't feel good about
I
it?
still did not feel good about it.
I'm just like, Porsha, please. You knew it wasn't right. You know what, I ain't gonna say nothing. But you knew it wasn't right from jump. So for you to just like, oh, it was not right, is crazy. When they get on the topic of Porsha stealing Simon, they bring up the fact, like Shamia introducing, right? But they segues from Angela's husband and Porsha saying she will fuck Charles.
Said, Porsha, you know people already think you stole a cast member's husband, so why would you say you would Angela's husband?
And I mean, she owned it. She realized that, okay, you know, it was petty. It was what it was. I mean, at this point, it's caught in 4K. Girl, you have to own that, right? But yeah, that snowball to everybody saying like, yeah, you know, I heard that Shamia, you know, introduced. And Shamia's like very defensive. Like, I did not say that. I did not say that. Like, When Porsha was first got with Simon, all you girls down there were just so geeky.
Like, oh, Portia's over here doing it. She's doing her thing. And
Porsha talks about her prenup. Porsha was like, my house was part of the prenup. And she was like, our prenup took a long time. It took about 9 months for us to finish our prenup. And I'm looking like, okay, 9 months. Y'all were for like 15 months. So y'all were together for like 15 months, but it took 9 months. So it took majority of your relationship to figure out the prenup. As Phaedra would say,
something in the butterman can't claim.
It don't make sense. I'm sorry. So that's why I just look at her like half the time. It do look strategic and it does look dumb. But, I mean, I guess Porsha was the real winner, huh? She got Simon out of there.
Allegedly.
So, Andy asked Kelly, like, where do you think your relationship with Britt went south? Like, how do you think that this turned? And she was just like, you know, she brings up her team, and she's like, you know, Britt didn't have a team, clearly.
Get a stylist and videographer and hair and makeup and all of these things because I was on the show. So Britt hadn't had those things, clearly.
And she was like, just one of those situations where I understand the stuff that she's going through. So I was just trying to be a friend, but she wasn't a friend to me. Y'all, I can understand this very well. Like, there's a lot of friendships that I wanted to foster, but me being new to the city and new to certain friend groups, and I was introduced to a friend group by way of one person, and if that person wasn't cool, or if that person wasn't, you know, how can I say, amicable with the group, it basically pushed me out as well as her. But when she got back cool with the group, I'm still on the outs because that's my friend. And then she gets back cool with them. And then they invite her out. They're over here, you know, doing stuff with her. And now, don't get me wrong, they have slowly like came back. Because me and said friend, I mean, we're not really cool like that anymore. Like, she don't reach out. I damn sure don't reach out. I always say is I clock people how they move. And once you show me how you move, I would meet you where you're at. Y'all know I say this time and time again, I'm an eye for the eye type of bitch. I'm trying to work on it. I really am, but I've seen growth. However, on that, you do me, I'm gonna do you bad. So take that as you may. I felt like I was being played with like a pawn in these chess moves. So at that point, once I realized what was going on, especially, girl, we're not in the DC streets, and I feel like it was all surrounded for us. Y'all probably don't know. I'm just gonna say it. I was scouted for a TV show, and some of the friends were scouted too. They all are successful in DC, and they were supposed to be on a show. That's when bullshit started to happen, and that's when I was like, I need to disassociate myself from that person, because I felt like we did have issues, but it was never that big to. If we had an issue, I would just say, hey girl, this is the issue, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a very much straight shooter. Like, I'm not gonna sit in a room uncomfortable with a bitch, or I felt some type of way and not say nothing. I'm gonna speak my mind and let you know how I feel. So I felt like they were creating distance, and they were creating a moment to then, if, you know, production want to move forward with the three of us, she would have probably tried to use that to gag me. I don't know. Like I said, this happened last summer, because towards the end of last year, it felt we didn't fall out. We just stopped communicating. But like around November till now, no contact. So I wish her well. I wish her peace and understanding, love and light. Bless her heart. Shamia gets called out a couple times, and the way that Shamia responded made me feel that she was not necessarily lying, but I feel like her recollection of the events didn't really align.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
We were
No,
in the
ma'am.
car,
No, ma'am. We're not going to do this.
leaving your house, since you want to almost act like I'm lying. I said it to you because
And like the way that she was just like, my comment was innocent and you took it the wrong way, Drew. And it's just like, okay, but it kind of wasn't. I love me some Angela down. When I say I love some Angela, but when I look at Angela, I'm like, Angela, yo, like, The storyline for me doesn't make sense.
Phaedra that sent this man to the group.
First and foremost, he told me it was Phaedra.
Okay, this man who you've never met.
Never.
Because when she's like, Phaedra was the one that set this up. And I'm like, oh shit, girl. And she put her binder. I was like, oh, Phaedra, you're done, bitch. You're done. You're done. So I was like, yeah, because Phaedra basically saying like, girl, what reason do I have to do this to you? She was like, you know what you did. This is a pattern of behavior. And then she tells Porsha, like, Porsha, like, you believe everything she say. Why? Porsha, that's my friend. She was like, have you not learned from past experiences? I said,
have you not learned is crazy because, yeah, Porsha, have you not learned?
It's a pattern. What kind of pattern is it? A pattern of lying. You're not about what? Do you want me to show you? No, you can show me. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, you can show me.
Angela pulls out this folder. She said, She was like, this guy, this is Marcus. Okay. This is your brother. She's like, yeah. She's like, okay. They went to school together. Marcus' sister and your brother went to school together. And she's like,
okay.
She's like, you think that's a coincidence? I said, Angela, Angie. I'm gonna call you Angie for short.
His aunt is a lady by the name of Kimberly. I don't know, Kim. This is a pattern.
You're missing me. Because now I was on the edge of the bed like, yeah, okay, this is brother, okay, they went to school together, okay, so what, let's see the proof. Where's the receipts for her giving the money? Like, what? Let's see it. She's like, it's a coincidence.
Is this your brother? That's my oldest brother, yeah.
So they went to high school together, so how did that man come on the show and say that you...
And that's what I want to ask you, Phaedra. I don't know that man.
She's like, well, how do you think it's just me? She said, because there's a coincidence that y'all over here know each other? Really? I said, Angela, girl, it really could just be a coincidence because you then just said he tried to put it on Kelly. He tried to put it on, and then Andy stopped. He was like, okay, she tried to put it on Kelly. So how is it drawn back to Phaedra?
Only give me your name. He tried to put it on Kelly. Well, I heard that you coerced him to give.
Okay, if he tried to put it on the other women, then what makes you think he was telling the truth about?
He went to high school with her sister.
It's not clicking. What's not clicking? There's.
And she was like, because she tried to get her contract secure. Phaedra hit him once. She was like, my contract was secure once I signed on the dotted line. It was done. I said, period, girl. Phaedra, we know. You ain't gonna say that. So, like I said with Angela, I think Phaedra even says, like, Angela, you know, what I heard was you set this up. That's what he told us. You set this up. And I saw online, allegedly, Angela, aren't you taking that man to court? Like, the whole situation seemed fabricated from the beginning.
You said that you think I set that up. Why would you say that? Everybody's thinking this whole thing is so silly. Nothing about the guy and what he was saying looks real.
Junebug make no fucking sense. That man, he already a registered SA'er. So the validity of his stories for me, I hold no weight to. And then number two, I don't trust this man. I felt like he came onto the show trying to create a moment and try to gag somebody just for him to get exposed for all his business. He seemed like a messy ass bitch who took the opportunity to, instead of enjoying your time and seeing the ladies, introduce yourself. It seemed like all of them were doing like meet and greets, but not really meet and greet, but you know, going around. But you took that time to just to be a messy ass bitch to come on TV just for you to come on TV and get exposed for your tea.
But the gag is.
You trying to spread someone else's tea and your tea spilled over, which is crazy.
Bitch.
But that was at the end of the episode, and we'll see what happens. Like, Angela, I think out of the whole season, that was your only gray area. Like, it didn't go well, sis. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. This was really good. This was really good. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
And the gag is
Brian Keith, LG, Black Butte. Bet you didn't know we the Holy Trinity. Now let a God stop a dollar, break your head here. Step into the room and get up in the bed. It tastes sweet, that's cause I'm good. It tastes sour cause I'm better than the hood. Cause I get you hyper when I'm running all around cause I excite ya. Let me talk real quick.